Hello everyone, how are you today? My name is Makeda Valletta, also known as the Renaissance Amazon and the Body Scientist. And I am live right now on my IG, but I will save this and repost it to my YouTube channel, so be sure to follow me in those places as well. In case you're unfamiliar with me, I have a background in exercise and sports science and nutrition science. I am also a birth worker, a pole dance instructor, and a sacred sexual educator. And I have committed my life to studying all the ways to take our body to its highest level. And when it comes to the woman's body, there's a lot of considerations that is ignored when it comes to medicine, health, and fitness, okay? So as somebody who has a degree in exercise and sports science, and I'm a certified strength and conditioning specialist, certified since 2003, a personal trainer, USA Olympic weightlifting coach, yada, yada, yada. And I'm also a serious student of dances of the African diaspora. So that particularly in the Americas and the Congo. So that's Haiti, that's DR, that's Puerto Rico, that's Colombia, that's Peru, Venezuela, New Orleans, Atlanta, okay? Cuba. So with that being said, I want to do this video today. For those of you, sorry, I know I'm like all over the place, so many things I want to say. But for those of you who've been following my work for a while, you may or may not be familiar with the work that I do with Nani Eggs. Some people know them as Yoni Eggs or Jade Eggs. I've been teaching a class since 2007 called Sensual Strength Training for women, to teach them how to connect to the pelvic floor and have rhythmic control. A lot of people talk about Kegels. I have YouTube videos where I talk about why Kegels can actually be dangerous and you have to be careful with Kegels. Okay, I have many videos about the eggs, answering a lot of questions and speaking about a lot of things. But today I wanted to speak in particular about how it helps a woman in childbirth and pregnancy. I have spoken in my videos briefly about how working with the eggs can help a woman in childbirth and pregnancy, but I haven't gotten into depth with it. So I do have videos where I talk about what's the sizes of the eggs, how to know what size to get, choosing crystals and stuff like that. And one of the things that I've noticed over the years in working with women, whenever a woman would ask me, what egg should I get? Or let's say like I'm doing a live event and I have a variety of eggs. I have always noticed, okay, that women choose the egg that's matching their outfit that day, right? And it's just my own observation, right? And that could be because maybe those colors, because colors also have healing properties, There's a lot of different meanings there's a lot of different unsaid meanings in things. So maybe those colors is what she's vibrating with and needs right now. And so I definitely encourage women to be guided with their own intuition to know which eggs to choose, because somebody can tell me, I can have 3 women who tell me I'm dealing with sexual trauma, what stone would be healing for me. One woman might choose obsidian, one woman might choose rose quartz, another one might choose aventurine, and still get healing properties from it, because everybody's situation is unique. So it's not a one size fits all. So I don't like making decisions for women, and I always encourage them to go with what speaks to them. Even if they don't know what, let's say there's a certain crystal that really gets their attention and they don't know what it means, because women can overthink things. So they don't know what it means, so they want to know, what does this mean? Just get it and then look at it later. And I bet you'll find that it's what it means is what you need, okay? Even when you find it out after the fact. And so the thing that it made me even think about that was, I got dressed just now to do this video. I have on green and pink, right? So as I was choosing what necklace to put on, I was going to put on orange because I have a necklace like this with an orange stone, and I like orange and forest green together, but something told me to do pink, right? And then right when I'm about to do the videos, I'm like, oh, let me pick up my eggs, right? So I can have them for the video. And then I realized the eggs that I'm working with right now, what are they? Pink and green. Okay, now I didn't do that on purpose. I just noticed it as I'm getting ready to do this video. Rose quartz and aventurine, right? Pink and green, which are both very much connected to the heart chakra and unconditional love, okay? So they're good to work with when you really want to calm, balance, open up your heart, okay, to unconditional love, because there's a connection between our heart and our womb, all right? Women, we receive the world through our nadis, okay? We penetrate the world through our breasts, okay? Our heart is where our breast, the heart chakra is where our breasts are. For men, men penetrate the world with their phallus and receive the world through their heart, okay? So whether you're male or female, connecting to your heart chakra and connecting it to your genitals, your sacred sexual center, is very important. So with that being said, for a pregnancy, a lot of people, it's important for a woman to have a strong pelvic floor and strong vaginal muscles, right? But you don't want it to be so strong that it's rigid. You want flexibility, elasticity, let me say. That's a better term, elasticity. And elasticity is a better word than flexibility, because something can be flexible and be kind of loose, right? Elasticity means that this thing can stretch and go right back to the same tightness that it was before it stretched, okay? That's what elasticity is. As women, it's important to have elasticity in our vaginal canals, and it's important to have elasticity in our pelvic floor, okay? When it's too tight and too rigid, not only is it not good sexually, okay, but it's also not good for birth, because in birth, if a woman would like to have a vaginal birth, it's really important for her to learn how to relax, okay? It's about relaxing and surrendering. And that's the reason why during pregnancy it's really important for women to concentrate on being relaxed, okay? And our mouth is connected to our nanis, okay? Our vaginal opening, connected to our mouth. So when we tense up our mouth and tense up our jaw, it tenses us up here, okay? And when a woman relaxes her jaw, relaxes her mouth, so you could think sexually, if a woman is, allowing her jaw to be relaxed and allowing sound to come out, okay? And it could be oral sex, okay? It could be her, whether she is performing oral sex with a woman or a man, it's going to relax her jaw and thus relax her here, right? And so in labor, it's also important for a woman to relax her jaw, okay? And let the sounds come out, the deep moans, relax, so you can relax here. So if you're focused on squeeze here, you're squeezing, it's going to enforce you to tense up your face. That is not what you want in labor, and it's not what you want anytime you're in a stressful situation that you have to surrender to, okay? A vaginal birth is like having a bowel movement or throwing up. You don't want to, if you have to throw up, you don't want to tense in anticipation. You need to relax and just let it come out. Let your body does what it does. It ejects, the eject reflex, right? If you have to do number 2, we all know it's not good if somebody's on the toilet straining and pushing and tensing up their face, trying to push it out. That's not a good sign. You should just go to the bathroom, relax, and let it come out, right? That's how the openings of the body are connected. The ring muscles are connected, okay? And so a lot of the egg practice, it's not just about focusing on squeezing the egg, okay? That's not even really what I teach. I actually teach women a variety of exercises to, moving the vaginal muscles left, right, front, back, up, down, and, having, dividing up the different parts of the canal, moving the middle, moving the bottom, moving the top, and also connecting to relaxing, okay? Relaxing. The ability to relax the vaginal muscles and relax the pelvic floor is just as important as it is to have some tone, right? And so just like with weightlifting, I told you I'm a strength and conditioning coach, background in exercise and sports science. You're not supposed to go to the gym and lift weights every day. And you're not supposed to, like if I'm doing bicep curls, you want to work your muscles through a full range of motion. So, you'll see people in the gym doing bicep curls and they're doing this, right? The problem with this, you're working the muscle in a short little range of motion, which is going to make your muscle really strong in this area. It'll be weaker down here. It's going to make it tight and unbalanced, right? So when you're doing bicep curls, you want to go all the way down and all the way up. All the way down, leaving a slight bend in the elbow, so you don't want to lock the elbow, slight bend, and up, working the muscle through a full range of motion. You also want to work the opposing muscles. So if I'm working my biceps, I need to work my triceps. If I'm just strengthening this muscle all the time and I'm not strengthening this muscle, then I end up with muscles here that's way too tight and strong, and these are weak, and that can cause imbalances. So it's important when you're doing a strength training program, whether it's for your bigger muscles or your pelvic floor muscles, that it be balanced and that you work through the full range of motion. This is another reason why I highly believe in dances of the African diaspora that involve intense hip movement, okay? Because that also helps to work the pelvic floor and balance those muscles in different ways, and also the core, okay? The core muscles are all the muscles that cross the hips. It's not just the abs. People think of the core as the abs. It's also the back muscles, the lower back muscles, your glutes, your hamstrings, your quads. Those are all part of your core muscles because they all cross the hip, okay? Also, during pregnancy, a lot of women, so, she wants to focus on relaxing, but also toning. You have, because flexibility is that perfect balance of strength too. The strength is a part of the equation. You just don't want to overdo it in the wrong way and cause tightness and rigidity, okay? The other thing is that, it's women who've worked with the egg. This is hard to explain unless you've actually worked with the egg. But women who have worked with the egg, and if you have, please feel free to share your 2 cents on this. But there's something that we call birthing the egg, right? Where when the egg is coming out, like when you put the egg inside of you, there are eggs that are drilled and eggs that are not drilled. Let me see. And one of my eggs is drilled, one is not. So let me show you. This green aventurine egg is drilled, has a hole going through it, and this one is not, right? And when it's drilled to put a string through it for more advanced exercises and for easy removal. Some women are afraid that it might get stuck. If you have a string, you can easily pull it out, right? Although I always tell women it's not going to get stuck. There's no reason to be afraid. But for some women, they just can't. They don't like the idea of being able to put something in there that they can't easily pull out. I think that working with the drilled egg during pregnancy, especially if you're new to the practice, is good. Because during pregnancy, you don't want a situation where you have to ever strain to get something out or add extra stress to your pelvic region, okay? So if you're new to it, working with a drilled egg, and nothing I say is 100%. So I'm not saying that you can't be pregnant and work with a non-drilled egg. You can, but if I just had to give a little, suggestion for beginners, working with a drilled egg could be good. Still, I say to go with your intuition, because I've seen pregnant women not work with drilled eggs. And the eggs generally do not get stuck. But in my 16 years, oh my God, can't believe it's that long. In my 16 years of working with the eggs, my eggs have gotten stuck maybe twice, okay? And both times it was stuck in an air pocket. Both times I had more than one egg inside of me, and both times sex was involved, okay? Because you can have sex with the eggs in. Now, I should make a whole nother video about that. But women who are experienced at working with the eggs know that you can have sex with them in. Men don't always feel it. A lot of times they don't feel it. You would think that you would feel something like this, but again, the vaginal muscles, the muscles in the vaginal canal have a lot of, hold on a minute. They have a lot of ripples and folds and pockets. That's what gives it like an accordion or something, which gives it the ability, and if those muscles are tight, elasticity, remember they're tight, but they can be stretched out. So you put an egg in here, and now the egg is over here in this pocket, but the muscle around it is still strong and firm, okay? And whenever that egg is not there, it goes right back. But just because it's right there, the penis might be going right past it and not really feeling it, okay? So you can have sex with it. But I do think, there was twice where I felt like probably maybe an air pocket happened, and I had 2 eggs and they got stuck, and it caused really bad cramps. And the way that I got it out was really, I had to keep relaxing, shaking, and relaxing, not tensing up, because when people get stressed, they start to tense up. Don't want to do that. That makes it worse. So and you relax, and then, it's kind of like you birth the egg, okay? And again, it's hard for me to explain, and I will get more into it when I do in my classes. It's hard for me to explain if you haven't actually experienced it, but a lot of women who birth with eggs can experience this birthing the egg thing. And it's very much about relaxing, not really trying to force or push or bear down, but relaxing and opening up and letting that egg work. And then once you have more of a connection to your vaginal muscles, you can evoke, sucking up with them or relaxing and pushing down with them. Like, not even like pushing with a lot of, it's like a very gentle vaginal contractions that are kind of helping to work the egg thing out, okay? It's important for women to connect to those movements, and again, have rhythmic control. That's what I say. It's not just about tight muscles. It's about having rhythmic control. Yes, this is good for our partners. If you're having sex with a man, men feel it and they love it, and that can make orgasms more intense for you and for him, because it also builds up sexual energy within us. But in childbirth, it plays a role as well in helping the woman to relax and open up and allow to come out. Now, of course, when it's a baby, it's a lot bigger than an egg, but when women are preparing for birth, a lot of times they use dilators to help them get more used to the stretch, even though when a woman's in labor, we have such an intense release of hormones that helps that to happen. So even when sometimes men will say, oh, have you seen a woman give birth? They can take a lot. But that's not no everyday shit. That is from a whole intense release of hormones that makes a woman open up like that, and can be painful, but in many cultures it's not painful. That's a whole nother discussion, but I'm just saying. It's not the same as just the normal state, okay? But still, there are things that women do to kind of prepare the muscles. And so I feel like working with larger eggs, and I've had women who have had C-sections, they know that they've had some type of trauma, vaginal trauma, can't open up. Working with larger eggs is actually good if you're having those issues, okay? If you know that you're tense, closed up, afraid, holding on to trauma, working with a larger egg to prepare for birth, okay, can help. Now, one of the things too I will say is that, and also I want to say large eggs don't stretch you out. A lot of women think that. That's a myth. And I talk about that in other videos. What was the thing? Oh, the other pregnancy recommendation I would make. Now, again, you can always follow your own tuition, because in women's bodies, this mystical wombs that we have, mystical vaginal muscles, vulva, nanis, yonis, whatever you want to call it, that we have. There's no clear-cut and dry rules with certain things. So I'm saying that to say that also if a woman is working with it during pregnancy, it's probably better to wait till after the first trimester, because the first trimester is the most sensitive part of pregnancy, okay, where everything is not fully established yet. Okay, once you get into the second trimester, and different traditional cultures didn't necessarily break it up by semesters, but they broke it up by when the placenta is fully formed, which is somewhere, it could be week 14, 15, 16. When things are more firmly established, then the pregnancy sticks more and it's not as sensitive. That's why most miscarriages happen in the first trimester. Not always, but most of them. So in the first trimester, unless you feel led, okay, because again, I've learned a lot from working with women that their intuition is always king, right? Or queen, let me say that. So if your intuition leads you to work with an egg in your first trimester, then go ahead. I think that maybe in the first trimester, it's good to probably work with a drilled egg so that you can put it in, do some things, and pull it out without having to worry about, oh, it's stuck, and, I can't get it out, and all those things, right? Because you want it to be very gentle, especially if you're new, okay? I think that, but if you don't want to work with the egg internally in the first trimester, because you might feel that things are sensitive, and you don't want to do that, then I would say you can also you can do the exercises. You can do certain exercises without the egg, and you can work with the egg by carrying it in your bra, sleeping with it under your pillow, start cultivating a relationship with it, because the crystal still has healing properties, and the egg shape itself helps to absorb negative energy and transform it, okay? That's what eggs do, no matter whether they're crystals or chicken eggs, okay? Just that shape, sacred geometry shape of an egg. That's what it's for. And it's a symbol of transformation and resurrection. So you can still cultivate the relationship with the egg. You can also do some meditations holding it in your hand, holding it into your womb if you don't want to put it inside. I think that once you're in the second trimester, into the third, it's a lot, safer. Everything is a lot more secure. Another thing I would say is that women working with eggs during pregnancy, it's good to put aloe vera. I always got my aloe plants. I got several aloe plants, right? Keep aloe. You can put aloe like right out the plant. I don't buy aloe vera gel with chemicals in a plastic bottle. The aloe right out the plant, rub it all over the egg before you insert it, or cannabis oil, or just pure coconut oil. And the reason why I say that is because it's really important in general for a woman to maintain her microbiome, okay, in her vagina, all over our bodies. But our vaginal microbiome is critical for us to maintain in general, but especially in pregnancy. And so putting foreign objects inside of us, every time we have something foreign, even if it's, our partner's phallus or the doctor's fingers or whatever it is, it's introducing foreign bacteria. And women can be very prone to vaginal infections and imbalances during pregnancy. So it's really important. And also, and I do not recommend taking antibiotics during pregnancy. So if you have vaginal infections, there's a lot of natural ways to deal with that. And I will eventually do a video about that. But coconut oil is naturally antimicrobial, antibacterial, antiviral, as is aloe. And cannabis oil, with the cannabis also has those properties and the terpenes and the THC and stuff like that. So combined with coconut oil is really good, but coconut oil by itself even. So I feel like those three things are very safe things to help to kill any infectious organisms, to help feed our vaginal microbiome. Another thing could be, some diluted apple cider vinegar could be rubbed over it, those things just to help just enhance and not irritate the microbiome of our vaginas, especially during pregnancy, okay? I also would suggest not leaving it in for days on end, because again, we want to make sure that we maintain the right types of bacteria, the oxygen-producing bacteria in our vaginas in general, but especially during pregnancy, okay? Because this is really important. Because another thing is when a woman has an imbalance of bacteria in her vagina during pregnancy, it can lead to preterm labor, and also when you do have a baby vaginally, the baby gets inoculated with their mother's vaginal microbiome. So you want to be as healthy as possible. That can help protect the baby from getting allergies and asthma and all these other problems later in life, okay? Also, another benefit to working with the egg when pregnant is to start to, if you haven't yet started to heal certain traumas. A lot of women carry trauma in their womb, whether it be sexual trauma in the womb and the vaginal muscles, whether it be sexual trauma, whether it be ancestral trauma, or whether it be birth trauma. Okay, a lot of women are traumatized from previous births. And when anything traumatic happens to us, men or women, and we don't deal with it, it can leave imprints in our energy fields. We can store trauma in our bodies, but as women, we can especially store it in our vaginal canal and in our wombs. Okay, as my girl Pakistani says, matriz y concha, which is the matriz, the matrix, the womb, y concha, being the nani, the vulva, the vagina. Okay, so we want to work on dissolving those traumas and transforming that prior to birth, if possible, so that when you are in labor, which is a very spiritual time, and all kinds of things come up, and women who have birth trauma and sexual trauma, it can come up, and then you have that fear, and the fears can cause a woman to clench up, tighten up, and close up, which is not what you want to do in labor. So also there are meditations, breathing, opening exercises that a woman can do while she's pregnant with the eggs to help with that. So with all that being said, I have decided to teach a class particularly to pregnant women, because I have other classes that pregnant women can definitely take and have taken, but I've never done a class that was geared specifically to the needs of pregnant women, right? And so I'm going to do that. I've been getting requests lately. I find that when I've taught classes, in person is always best, but there's a lot of women in a lot of places who need this medicine. So now, you know, so, and I find that it's helpful when it's an ongoing thing, like once a week, you know, once or twice a week for a certain amount of weeks. And so, so what am I trying to say? And then I think that, you know, when women share, we also learn a lot from each other, from hearing each other's experiences. So this class I want to do as a once a week class, okay? That's going to be for 10 weeks, okay? 10 weeks, once a week. And it'll be on Zoom, so we can do it together and share our experiences. But if a woman can't make it that week, she will get the recording. And hopefully we will have a place to also share experiences. Like if you are on Facebook, I can form a Facebook group for the women who are in the class to also share experiences, because over the years I've noticed women learn a lot when they start to share and hear other women's stories as we go through it together. But so yeah, if you can't make the class, you'll get the recording, but of course it's always ideal to make the class, to meet the class. The class will be 10 weeks. It will start on May 30th, okay? Sunday, May 30th. Now, I'm also open because I'm very, very flexible to days and times. So a lot of times when I have to choose a day and a time, I'm like, I don't know, because I'm so flexible, you know? But then I don't know what will work for people. So I'm going to choose a day and a time. But if there are people who would like to do a class and this day and time doesn't work for them, of course you can do the recorded version. But I'm open to having other days and times. So if someone sends me emails and tells me what works for them, and I get enough people that can fit in another slot, I'm totally down to do another slot. But because I have to start somewhere, I'm going to start with Sundays. I'm going to start with Sunday the 30th, okay? And I'm like, should I do morning or evening? I feel like I'm going to do it at 6 p.m., okay? 6 p.m. on Sundays. Again, I'm open to other slots if that doesn't work. So 6 p.m. on Sunday, starting on May 30th, all right? It'll be 10 weeks. If you pay class by class, it'll be $20 a class. And if you pay for the whole thing up front, it'll be $175, okay? So if you pay for the whole class up front, $175, or if you want to pay week by week, it's $20 for 10 weeks, okay? And each class will be about an hour. It depends on how many people are in the class. I want to say 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the amount of women who are in the class, okay? Because we need to share and talk as well. If you're interested, please email me directly at nanieggs@gmail.com. That is NANIEGGZ@gmail.com. I will write it below. And yeah, and so, and the only requirement is that you be pregnant. It's okay. It doesn't matter where you are in the pregnancy, because even if you were later on, you can still gain things if and I want to say, if you're not pregnant, but you want to prepare anyway, like you feel like you might be pregnant soon, it's also open to you as well. But this class will be geared towards that, okay, really for pregnant women. So be sure to email me if you're interested, and anyone who's listening to the video who has egg experience and can relate to what I'm talking about with birthing the egg, please share your stories if you so choose. If you've worked with an egg while you're pregnant, please share that as well, because we all learn from sharing. Sharing is caring. Okay, so I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for listening. If you think that you know a woman who it will help, please share it, and talk to you later. Bye.